it's on, I think, hopefully. Okay, we're back, little intermission. Alright, so guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, by the title, we're doing another podcast style video. I love doing these. I just feel like I connect with you guys when I do these, and I get so many messages and comments from you guys being like, these have helped you so much, and I love that. Even if I just help one person or just like through my experiences, I'm helping guide someone, that's all I want. So we are doing another type of these videos, and I love them. I honestly feel like these are like my therapy sessions, because I'm able to just have those deep talks with you guys, and I feel like you guys get to know me a little bit more on a deeper level. And I am a yapper. Like, give me a deep talk and I will yap your ear off, but other than that, I'm a socially anxious girly. So this is my zone. This is where I'm meant to be. So we are doing another, again, podcast style video. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot, and I've had a lot of just like emotions. I've been feeling a little bit off lately. And so this one's kind of going to be about being enough and feeling like we're not enough in life in general. But yeah, this video is it's hitting a little bit deeper. I've just been kind of like dealing with a lot in my head and just like with myself lately. So I kind of just want to talk about that, because also, like I said, I've been getting messages as well. So I thought this would be a good time to just do a video about it. And it's about kind of like being enough and thinking that, that we're not enough and something's wrong with us. And I don't know if it's just me. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, but I feel like as like a society in general, we just are constantly trying to reach for the next thing, or questioning what's wrong with us and why aren't we enough for something or someone, or like what is our purpose and all that. I've been really questioning it a lot. But yeah, I feel like this is like one of those things where I'm constantly like having a battle with myself. And it honestly makes me go into a little bit of a depression, which I don't want, which is why I want to talk about it, because I feel like talking about things, it helps me so much. I don't even know how to work. I just feel like I'm not enough. And this is with friendships, relationships, my love life, and just life in general. I feel like I'm constantly doing something wrong, and that I'm so behind in all of that. And it's definitely more like a me thing. I think I struggled a lot with accepting who I was and what I've gone through in my life and all that, especially my childhood. I feel like getting bullied and all that definitely has made a huge impact on my life, positively and negatively. I definitely have it. It has definitely given me a lot of insecurities in my adulthood, and I'm trying to overcome them, but it's really hard because certain things trigger it. Yeah, I don't know, I constantly feel like I'm not enough, and that I don't know, I just feel like something's wrong with me, and it's so sad because I honestly just feel I feel sad because I just think about like my younger self. Like sometimes when I see myself, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I see myself now and I see like younger me, and it makes me so sad because I feel like I'm doing younger me a disservice by being so in my head about things. And don't get me wrong, I'm like, I have my days where I'm like, okay, yes, you are that girl, and I'm so confident. And there's other days where I just like don't feel like myself. And lately I've just been like dissociating a lot, and I've been feeling like very out of body lately, which I don't know, I just feel like I'm so aware of everything that's going on in my head, and it's so frustrating because it's like I just want to break. And then I go down this rabbit hole of what's wrong with me and why am I like this. It's just, guys, it has been this whole thing. It's so frustrating just being so stuck in your head all the time and constantly having thoughts of just so much negativity. And of course it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm trying to control it, I'm trying to like be better and like work on myself. But of course you're going to have those days where you just don't feel great, and that's okay. And that's why I let myself have those days where I'm not feeling good, but also when those good days do come, like to take them in. And I really try and like live in the moment. I don't know. I definitely think that social media is a huge part of it, because we constantly compare our lives to other people's, and we're seeing so many different lives, and I just think we're absorbing too much of people's lives where it's creating a false reality for us. And yeah, it just definitely messes with the concept of life, I think, in general, and how our lives are supposed to be, and our self-worth for sure. Of course, people only post like the happy things of their life and the highlights and all of that, which, you know what, it's great. It creates a positive outlook, but it also creates a negative, because people are thinking that is what life is, and it's not. There's so many ups and downs in lives, and people have so many issues, and we're constantly dealing with so many things that no one knows about. People see your life and think that, you have nothing going on and you should be so happy. And of course, like, I have so many blessings, but it doesn't stop, like, my emotions. Like, we're all allowed to have emotions, and we all feel a type of way, and no one should take that away from us. But yeah, I've just been feeling very much in my head about being enough and all that. Yeah, I just like look back at my life and I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I mean, there could be something wrong with me. Like, there honestly could be. I could be the issue. But also I'm like, am I just really bad at picking people in my life and I think I know how to read people properly, and like I'm very picky with people in my life, but I'm also like, am I not picky enough where I'm choosing the wrong people in my life, and then it makes me question my self-worth and all this. Like I said, this is also in friendships and like relationships with someone. I feel like I'm constantly in a battle where I'm like losing people, and I'm like, am I the issue? And I genuinely don't know. I just always have this idea of like, is knowing me more leads to loving me less? And that's just like, I hate that I think that way, but that's how I feel, because at some point everyone has left in my life, and that's friendships, like someone I'm interested in, whatever that is. And I know it's just, that's a sign from God or the universe, whatever you believe in, that it's just like not meant to be. But it doesn't stop the way of like feeling like, well, what's wrong with me, and why does everyone always eventually leave? And I know everyone's not always going to be in your life. Some people are only in your life for like a little bit, a chapter and all that. But it's like, damn, constantly I haven't had a consistent friend. I've always had someone who honestly betrays me or stabs me in the back, or our values don't align. And with a guy, I'm just like not enough, or it's just I'm not their cup of tea, which is fine. Like, I get it. It also is just like, the comparison, and I feel like that's what it is. It's just a lot of comparison, and just it's definitely insecurities with me. I think for like growing up, I didn't really have a lot of friends, and I still don't, honestly. I struggled a lot within like in school and all that, making friends and keeping them. I just felt like the outcast all the time, and I still feel like that now, and I'm 26 and I still struggle with friendships. And I feel like also friendships in your 20s are just so hard, and that's like the girl that doesn't have friends, and then you realize why she doesn't have any friends. I keep thinking about that, and I'm like, am I the issue? And like I said, I could be, but also I feel like I have the same common theme with my friends, where there's like a secret animosity, or someone's using me, or someone's talking about me. And then it makes me think, well, am I the issue? And like I said, I honestly could be, or do I just have bad, like, judgment of friends and the people that I pick in my lives? And it could be a combination of all of that, to be honest. But it's just really hard because, like growing up, I always like thought, oh my God, I don't know. I definitely have, oh my God, this is definitely bringing back some, I'm like, I definitely have things I need to work on, but it definitely just brings back insecurities of when I was a kid, of like not having friends and being bullied, and never being enough in my eyes. It always feels like I'm never enough, and I love so much. And I've not turned into a person, but I used to want to be someone who had like high maintenance friendships. Like, I was a high maintenance friend, like I wanted to talk to you, and then I had to stop because of my expectations were getting, I just was getting so disappointed. So I kind of forced myself to turn into a low maintenance friend, which, do I want to be? No. But did it make it easier? And I was able to kind of distance myself a little bit that way, so then I didn't get hurt. So maybe it was a coping mechanism for me to not get hurt. So I turned into a low maintenance friend, even though by true nature I'm a high maintenance friend. Like, I love to hear about my friends' days, and I want to talk to you and see how you're doing, and even the little things I'm like, oh, whatever. So I don't know, I feel like I love so much, and I feel like everyone just like, I just see, this is so frustrating. I just feel like everyone that I've cared and loved for has just like changed up, and obviously people are going to change, and but I just see so many people, and I'm like, I crave for that. I want that girl best friend, and I want someone who's gonna like be there for me and, you know, tell me, like, I don't, like I said, I've said this in my videos before, I don't want a yes man in friendships or a relationship or anything. I feel like I've gone through life of just like not being enough, and that's again with friendships, finding friends, and I don't know, it makes me feel like I don't know who I am because I'm picking all these people in my life that clearly don't have the true intentions with me, and they actually don't like me, and it's like, well, what is going on? Like, I just constantly have this battle of like not being enough, and it makes you feel honestly so lonely. I feel like I can't trust myself, and I always say I have trust issues, but I think I have trust issues like within myself of choosing the right people, because everyone I picked in my life has been such a disappointment and has honestly hurt me so bad that it really does affect me a lot. And again, this is the same thing with like guys I'm interested in. I've had guys tell me, you know, like, it's not you, it's me, it's all this. But then the next day or the next week, there was someone else. And I'm like, well, then clearly it is me, right? So again, it makes me feel like I'm not enough. And I know I know it has nothing to do with me. And you can't force someone to like you. You can't force people to be friends with you and all that. But there's something so lonely and isolating about never being picked. Why is what is so great about everyone else that I'm missing? And it's so easy for everyone else to be in a relationship, to make friends, and I'm just so, it's just so difficult. It's so difficult to, and I don't know if it's because I'm trying it, like, subconsciously I feel like I'm trying so hard to maintain these things and like attain them, and maybe that's the issue, is that I want it so bad, and I want, you know, friendships so bad, and I'm afraid to be alone and all that, because I think that's essentially what it is. And I'm honestly very afraid to be alone, because I've had moments like that since I was a kid, of being alone and, you know, not having anyone to hang out with, and sitting in my room alone and just like trying to keep myself occupied to not feel the loneliness. Okay, clearly we are definitely going through things. Brother, hello? Excuse me, not my freshly makeup. Okay, we're back. I just need to fix my makeup because I have to take pictures after this, and I can't have my makeup all weird. Anyways, yeah, I just think it's really hard to, you know, kind of feel like there's nothing wrong with you when constantly people are coming in and out of your lives, and it's like it doesn't even affect them. I take things, I'm so like, like everyone always tells me, like my brother always tells me, he's like, you're so emotional, you take things so deeply, and I do. I'm honestly so sensitive. Maybe it's the cancer in me, but I'm just such a sensitive person, and I really do take things deep to heart. I feel like people don't make it, I don't know, maybe they don't mean it like that, but to me, I'm like, this is such, like, it's so gut-wrenching, and it feels like the biggest betrayal to me. And honestly, this might be my fault that I'm setting expectations of people to be a certain way, because I know when I love someone, and like, whether that's a friend or if I'm interested in someone or whatever, I give so much to them. I love with all, no matter what it is. It really makes you question your self-worth, which your worth shouldn't be determined based on someone else's actions towards you, and I know that, and that's something that I'm definitely working on. But it's also, I wouldn't be human if I didn't. I think the experiences that we have with other people are what shape us, and it definitely makes me more aware of how I want to treat other people, for sure. And I'm not gonna change myself and make myself smaller to fit into someone else's life, because I feel like that has been a lot of the cases, is where I just don't fit into these people's lives, and, you know, our values really don't align. And I have found myself definitely putting up a wall lately. I would say in the past, like, 3 years, I want to say, I put up a wall with people where I've kept my distance, but I crave like a friendship, and I crave love, and I crave, you know, people to be around me. And I think we all do to a point, but I think also a big thing is finding that within myself, and that's definitely something I need to work on a lot more. No matter how much I work on myself, there's always more to be worked on and more to grow from and all that. And I think it's just finding peace and company within yourself, which I definitely have more recently, again, within the past few years, it's life just happened where it's forced me to. But also, I wouldn't be human again if I didn't crave, friends and a boyfriend and all of that. And that's okay. It's okay to want those things. And I think it's okay to want those, but it's also, it's not something that you need. And I think it's more important to be on your own as well and find things that you enjoy, so then you're not constantly depending on someone else for your happiness. And I think that's a big thing. Like when people ask me like, oh, like how do you love yourself? How do you do? I think a big thing is not depending your happiness on someone else. And even though I have my moments, you guys literally just saw it, I have my moments of, insecurity where I'm like, I'm not enough. I'm so alone, but I would rather be alone than feel alone in a group of people, because I've done that and I hate the feeling of it. I hate it, and it makes me realize that those aren't my people. Like with friendships, as like a big thing with me was with friendships, I craved being around people so much and trying to be accepted and wanting a friend group that I was losing a part of myself. And like I said, I would be there in the group and I would, again, it was an out of body experience. I would be there and I was present, but I wasn't there. And I think that was a big thing for me to really realize that something was going on with me, but also with the people that I was surrounding myself with. It takes growing and learning, and I think trial and error, and also meeting people and having those friendships and losing those friendships to know what you want in a friend and also in a partner. But yeah, I'm constantly questioning myself, being like, why am I not enough? And why is it so easy for everyone else? Everyone makes it seem so easy, but I always say like it's quality over quantity. I would rather have one good friend than a group full of friends that talk shit about me, because I've had that. I've had a group full of friends and they pretended to like me. They didn't even like me. So for me now, as I've gotten older, it's definitely quality. I don't need a million friends. And of course, even like I said, you're going to feel lonely regardless, whether you have a big group of friends, whether you have a small group of friends, whether you have no friends. There's that period of your life where you're going to feel lonely regardless. Just one of those things where I need to kind of deal with myself and being okay with being alone and not having these things that I thought I would have. Of course, you like grow up and you watch these shows and everyone has like that best friend that they can rely on. I just feel like I'm just there. I feel like I'm just the floater friend and I just come and go out of people's lives for a chapter. And I don't know if that's for me or for them. You don't have anyone constant in your life. I don't know. I've just been really in my head a lot about who I want in my life and who I am. And if I'm part of the problem, which I honestly think I might be, but I don't know. It's really hard. It's really confusing. And it's a constant battle of being like, well, why am I not enough? And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. And it's the same thing with relationships. Every guy I've talked to has always found someone else like almost immediately after they stopped talking to me. So that makes me think, oh, so what is wrong with me that you couldn't be with me, but you could have been with someone else? And again, that's just like a them issue, but also why drag it along for so long and make me think that I was worth something and that I was special and that I was the one for you when you didn't even want me to begin with? It just makes me question, again, it shouldn't make you question your self-worth, but we're human and it does. And it makes me wonder, well, what do they have that I don't have? So it's just, yeah, that constant battle of like, why am I never enough? Even when I see other girls, I'm like, how is it so easy for other girls to get into relationships and it's so hard for me? And I know I'm picky, I know I am, but I'm also allowed to be picky, because for me, I want someone worthy. Because I know I am, and I know what I bring to the table, and when I date someone, it's very intentional, and I don't want someone who's going to come into my life and it's for one thing. When I'm in it, and I see it for the long run. I'm not a short-term dating girl. I don't like just going on dates for dates. I have to like feel some type of connection. That's why for me, I feel like it's been very hard for me to like go out with strangers unless it's like a mutual. Yeah, I just find it really hard to like actually have a connection with someone. So when I'm interested in someone, it's very rare. I always say it's like a once a year type of thing. But yeah, I'm very intentional with, relationships and friendships and all that, because I know what I bring to the table, and I know I know I'm a good person, and I know I'm a good friend, so I want that in a person. And I think that that's also my issue, because not everyone can be that. But also, if you're not a good person, I don't want you in my life, and that's just as simple as that. I went out last weekend and I had a good time, but also I think I've been dealing with a lot, just like up here, like mentally a lot, that I wasn't able to fully enjoy myself and all that, and I know that. And I just, like, this whole week I've just been like very just like in a slump, and just been feeling very depressed and feeling sorry for myself, which I shouldn't feel. But I don't know, whenever I go out and I see couples together, and this is such a bad thing to do, I do this all the time, but whenever I go out and I see couples, I just, like, I get so sad, because I'm 26. I think a lot of it is because of my age. I'm 26, and so many people in my life, they're in relationships, they've been in long-term relationships, or when we go out, like, everyone's getting hit on, and I'm just, like, there, and I'm like, damn, like, okay. It makes you feel very, like, what's wrong with me type of way, because everyone is just, I don't know, everyone makes it seem so easy to be in a relationship and, find their person and all that. So many people are getting, like, hit on and all this, and I'm just, like, there, and it makes me feel like that weird little kid that I felt like I was when I was younger, and I know I wasn't, and I know I'm not that person anymore, and I'm very, like I said, I'm very secure in who I am. I like who I am, and I don't need validation from anyone, but it just feels very, like, it just feels like you're left out, and that everyone's experiencing something, and that you're just, like, watching everyone, and you're just a side character. And I think that's the best way to describe it, is just, I constantly feel like I'm a side character in my life and everyone else's life. I shouldn't feel that way. I really shouldn't. I have my moments where I'm just like, I don't belong here, and this is just, like, I'm not meant to be here. But I know I am, and I know when my time comes, I'm going to meet the right people and the right friends. And, people are going to put in the effort and all that. I don't know. It makes me really feel really behind and left out. Even like with my brother, I see him, he has so many friends, and he's always going out and all that. And I'm just like, he makes it look so easy. I'm just envious of it, because he just is so carefree and makes it look so easy to, like, be around people. And I'm such, like, a socially anxious person that I overthink everything, and, my brain just doesn't shut off. And I think that's my biggest issue, is that I'm constantly overthinking. I'm overthinking my worth. I'm overthinking who I'm talking to, what's wrong with me. And I just think I'm just always on overdrive. That's my biggest issue, that I'm constantly overthinking everything. And I wish I could shut off my brain and just, like, be there and be present. But whenever I always have a moment whenever I'm out or just doing whatever, I will just, like, sit there and be quiet and just, like, watch everything. And then I think, why am I here? What am I doing? Am I even enjoying myself? And then it makes me actually not enjoy myself. Even though I was enjoying myself, that moment of overthinking makes me spiral and go into, I'm not enjoying myself. Yeah, it's definitely a me issue, where I'm just constantly overthinking. Even when I'm out and all that, at the end of the night, I'm just thinking, like, I don't have anyone to, like, go home to. Of course, I have my family and all that, but it's different romantically when you don't have anyone to really confide in, talk to about your day and all that. And I think I just feel like I'm missing something, and I'm just living life in this constant loop of it's just the same thing. And I don't know, it sucks when you don't have your life to share, like, you don't have someone to share your life with, and someone that's actually interested in it. Because when you're with someone, obviously they want to hear about the little things in your day. If they truly love you anyways, they will. I don't know. I'm very much in a peaceful, like, place in my life, but it does get very lonely. I think it's finding comfortability in the peace and the quietness, and just allowing myself to just let it go. I know I overthink everything, and I feel things so deeply, and I really wish I didn't, but I'm just wired that way, and I don't think I could ever be any other way. I don't know if it's this time of year. This time of year definitely makes me feel very, lonely, and I think it's like the cold weather and all that. I know I'm not the only one, but I've gotten, like I said, I've gotten a lot of messages being like, oh, friendships are so hard to find, and I feel like something's wrong with me. And let me say, you are not alone. I feel the same exact way constantly, and I'm 26, so I don't think that feeling, I don't know if that feeling will ever go away. I always wonder. I was like, oh, I thought it would, and I generally don't think it does, because even when I had friends, it never went away. But maybe that was because they just weren't the right people in my life. So maybe when I do meet the right people, I will feel more at ease and more calm, because I do notice that when I used to go out, I felt anxious and all that, but that was like with old friends that I'm not friends with anymore. I'm just constantly reflecting on life and I just constantly look at old friendships and I'm like, oh, what went wrong, and was it me, was it them? I constantly have this idea in my head of, does knowing me more lead to loving me less? And I don't think that's necessarily the case, or maybe it is, but I'm just an overthinker. I think I need to shut off my brain. I really need to just, I wish there was an off button. I wish there was. But yeah, that was today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want me to do any more of these or anything like that, definitely leave some suggestions down below of like topics and all that, and we will get into it. But I love y'all. Don't forget to love yourself. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out, scouts. Bye.